purpose since the beginning of time was never to benefit black Americans. It wasn't to benefit us at all. Never has been, even with the Constitution. And now I was looking into as far as, what's the issue with Clarence Thomas? And I'm looking into his decisions, some of his decisions. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I haven't gone through all of his decisions, but I'm seeing some of his other decisions. I'm like, that's some clown shit. But the Supreme Court has never been for the benefit of black Americans. And then if you look into a lot of the stuff, the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, it's this like Indiana Jones swap, little trick thing. Because then you start looking into the compromise. What was it? I can't remember the year. 1770 or 1870 or whatever. I think it's 1770. And how it had impacts on the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. And it's like they give you something and then they slowly take it away or undermine it. I'm just like, wait, what? How does that work? It's really crazy. Really crazy. And how the civil rights movement and all that, they got that completely fucking wrong. Got it completely fucking wrong. So yeah, all this is about wealth and power. That's what it all is about. So I think black people, instead of going to college, he's talking about, hey, you should go to trade schools. That's where you should be going. And learn something that can be beneficial to the community. Because right now he's talking about, as far as you have neighborhoods, you don't have communities. You have neighborhoods. People who reside. Right? Some cases, crime-ridden, right? Broken school system, whatnot. You don't have communities. And they've robbed people of that. They robbed us of that, 100%. And it'd be amazing how it would change your life just to deprogram yourself from a lot of the external factors that they presented to have you stray off path. Because they put so many fucking, toys in your path that people get distracted. Ooh, I'm gonna do, ooh. And it's crazy. Because then you start looking at it. And we're going to get into this fucking clown-ass Gates. Turns out Gates is not even a black American. He's not even from here, bruh. And he made sure, apparently in one of his rap songs, he talks about, hey, I'm not black, I'm Puerto Rican. And I'm like, okay. And that's another thing. If black people or Africans, Puerto Rican, whatever, if they came over here and they would unify, we would be able to get shit done 10 times faster. But they're not. It's fragmented. It's completely fragmented. And I'm like, what the fuck is up with that? Because these mofos think that they're better than these mofos. Well, we come over here, nigga. And, we ducked us and stuff. And it's like, you don't understand. You're being played against your own. You're being used. You're being utilized against your own. And if you just flip that switch and understand that, then shit would actually pop off. Then we could make some shit happen. But there's so many individuals who come over here and they are used against black Americans. No one else does that to any other group. No one else. And this whole concept of, hey, we killing ourselves. Interracial crime is interracial. You live within majority black people, that's what's going to happen. White people, and you have to understand, no one else talks this way. Do you hear Hispanics, Mexicans, Latins talking about, no Latins, we killing ourselves? They do. But do you hear them say that? No. Because this talking point was originated by fucking racist, I believe it was racist Republicans. Yeah, racist Republicans. That's where it originated. Well, it's actually originated for the benefit of black people. Because black people actually were talking about how the law enforcement were going into the black communities. That they would police other neighborhoods, but won't police ours. That's where it originally came from, was when it came to black on black crime. It's like, hey, you're not, you taking away their criminals, whatnot, but you're not helping us. And that's because they wanted the communities to turn into hoods. That's what they wanted. Especially when you look into, war on drugs and how that came to be. That's what they wanted. So that's where that originated from. And then racist white Republicans used that and flipped it against black people. It's crazy. What we use as far as for the betterment of the community, they use to belittle and demean black people. And then you have this fucking, this Sambo, fucking Kevin Gates talking about, we killing ourselves. Do you ever hear white people ever saying that? Do you have white people, you hear white people saying this? You know what, white people, we got to do better. You know what, white people, we got to do better. We have too many school shootings. We got to do better with our kids. You don't have them saying that. You don't have any other group of people saying that except black people. Because that's how they've stigmatized it. They stigmatized something that was used for the betterment of the community for the detriment of the community. To shame the community. Shit is crazy. Shit is fucking crazy. Once you start looking and noticing, what the fuck? What in the world? It's wild, man. It's wild. And then once you especially you start looking to, once again, I always recommend the Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Groy. That was a breeze. I read through that easy. I was like, boom. I think that was like in 2 days or something. But how many as far as these practices, and even many of the, as far as the stereotypes, right, of the coon and the Sambo, even are prevalent today. Prevalent today. So it's just interesting. We'll start with Judge Mathis first. That's what we'll start with, because he said some clown ass shit, bro. Some straight clown ass shit. Some straight clown ass shit. So actually, I wanted to read something, because he talks about how you've glorified the vote, and the vote hasn't fucking done anything. The vote hasn't done anything. The only significant thing we've had was when it came to protests was actually the Montgomery protest, the bus protest, because it impacted their money. It impacted their finance. You going outside someplace talking about this is wrong, blah blah blah. That doesn't mean anything. That has never impacted fucking anything. Never. In the history of black America, it has never impacted fucking not a damn thing. You raising your voice, you screaming and shouting. It's not how it works. That's not how this world works. That's not how this country works. This country is run off of fucking wealth and power. That's how that's run off of. Asians did not have to go outside and scream, this is horrible, we gotta stop They didn't have to do that. We need to stop this goofy fucking nonsense. If you can congregate to protest, then we can congregate and start fucking building shit. We can congregate our resources and start, whether we can do it, aim it politically and have candidates of our own, or actually building up the fucking communities and start taking property. Okay? That's, if we can congregate to do all that, then we can congregate and buy up a fucking duplex or some shit. And slowly buy that place, and buy that place, and buy that place, and then actually build a fucking community. And then go from the next block. Now, of course, you'll have to, as far as take into account fucking racist realtors, right? And redlining. And people who may not want to sell your property, because that's definitely a reality. They don't want to sell your property to a nigga, because they don't want a nigga in this place, right? As you saw in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is a no nigger zone, as what he said. Best believe the realtors know that. That's fine. That's fine. That's cool. We'll just take everything else around this no nigga zone. How about that? So then that way you are surrounded by niggas. That's what needs to happen. That's what honestly needs to happen. Instead of talking about socialism and all this shit, no, we need to embrace capitalism. We need to embrace it. That's the system. It's not going to change. Any change or altering to this system I would argue, would not be beneficial to white people. It would not be beneficial to the dominant society. And if you think the dominant society is going to lose its grip on fucking power, wealth and power in this country, you're out of your fucking mind. The two wealthiest white people in the world, right? They own more than all of black businesses. All the wealth, all black wealth combined, two white people own more than all of that. Got to think about this differently. You just have to think about this differently. Because the whole vote shit, that shit's not working, bro. Because these motherfuckers they're not going into Congress for us. They're not going into Congress for black people. That's not what's happening. Okay? When was the last time you heard a congressperson talk about fucking black people? Exclusively black people. I would say Marcel Dixon? Marcel Dixon. And now looking back on it, I think I was probably wrong. Because we've had what's his name? Baldwin, right? He was on that fucking funny shit, but he was a powerful voice. So a lot of these mofos go into Congress and it's not for you. And when they try and act like it's for you, what do they use? They use this fucking loose wording, right? They use this fucking ambiguous, cryptic words. Minorities. No, minority and black are not the fucking same thing. This is a bamboozle of, once again, the white liberal. And the white Republican and the white liberal work hand in hand together to say, fuck you, black America. These are the facts. Don't buy that stupid fucking minority bullshit. That is a hustle. That is a hustle that has historically worked against black Americans. Historically. Has never benefited us when they have labeled it as a minority. Because a minority completely voids any exclusivity to black Americans. They didn't say minority when it came to Japanese, did they? They didn't say minority when it came to Native Americans, did they? They didn't say minority when it came to Jews, did they? But when it comes to black Americans, now it's a minority. Now it's an everyone issue. Be aware of that fucking hustle. They switched that up real fucking quick. Oh, well, now it's a minority. Do you understand? Now it's a minority issue. When it comes to slavery, well, we were all slaves. You have to understand, slavery happened. Are you going to use that same thing when it comes to the Holocaust? Do you recall them using that example when it comes to the Holocaust? Well, Holocausts have happened everywhere. Okay, I just want people to understand that there's nothing particularly special or unique about the Jewish Holocaust. Black people have had a Holocaust. All right? There's been Holocausts since, beginning of time. They don't talk that funny shit with any other group of people. No one else. And the reason why, wealth and fucking power. What the fuck are black people gonna do? What are we gonna do? We don't own anything. Ownership has to fucking go up. Ownership has to fucking go up. And that's not gonna go up by being indoctrinated by some foolishness. By being indoctrinated by working for someone. Unless you are working for someone, and this was how I was taught, you go and work for a company, you learn the systems in place that the company uses, and you build your own fucking company. All right? That's why many of those, they had I had to sign a few of them. When it's do not compete order, the last one, once I started reading them, I stopped, I refused to sign them. The do not compete. That's what you should be doing. If you're going to start working for these businesses, go in the businesses, understand how it's run, right? Because there's systems in place. It's not so simple as, oh, I just have an idea. No, nigga, there are systems in place, okay? There's a hierarchy. There's a means of how they have managed to accumulate all these resources via fucking systems. All you need is a few fucking bright niggas in that business, and there are definitely black people within these companies. May not be a lot, but a few, enough to start your own shit. used as far as the political atmosphere right now to boost your recognition. Hey, we're a black-owned company. We're this and this and this. Do that for the benefit of you. Take these motherfuckers, do exactly what America does to everywhere else. Do exactly what America does to every fucking where else. They'll go to Africa and they'll take the smartest and the brightest. They'll go to fucking Europe, take the smartest and the brightest. They'll go to Russia, take the smartest and the brightest. Great. So let's learn from these motherfuckers. Let's go into their companies, take the smartest and the brightest, and start your own shit. Because that's exactly what they've been doing since the beginning of time. Go into Africa, take the smartest and the brightest, or the strongest. If you're bright, well, they'll brainwash you. Fine. We can do those tactics too. We can do those tactics too. You see, Hispanics have done it. They do it. Do they not? Jews do it. Do they not? Asians do it. Do they not? So we need to, as far as to adopt the tactics that have been used and weaponized against us to benefit us. That's what the fuck needs to happen. You can miss me with this vote shit, because a vote doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. It really does. You already have Kamal. Kamal said, I'm not here just to help black people. Bitch, bye. That should already let you know. That should already let you know. Right? What he also talks about, a choice and a decision. How they're two different things. He's like, black people make choices. White people make decisions. Black people make choices. White people make decisions. Where he talks about, hey, white people decide who's running for the president of the United States. How do they decide? Through wealth and power. Black people then get to choose. They make a choice from the decision that white people have bestowed upon them. Okay, based off the candidates, I like that person. Little do they know, all these candidates have been chosen. All right, they've been decided upon due to the fact that they ain't going to buck the system like that. Especially not in favor, or at least not in favor of black Americans. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. So we need to start making decisions, no longer choices. Decisions, no longer choices. And we're bright enough to do it. That's the crazy part. Because they've tried everything in their power to try and make you feel dumb. They've come out with studies. They try to use science, right? They try to use science. Try to use literature. Try to use fucking math. Well, you have to understand the square root of... They use all this to try and make you feel bad about yourself. To inspire self-hatred. And in some of these niggas, it's worked. Where they hate themselves. Because they've conceded. They've bent the knee to the fight. They're no longer on the battleground, right? They're no longer on the battlefield. These niggas they're now traitors. They're turncoats. They now shooting at you instead of shooting with you. And that's what they've done. This is the same practice they've done since the beginning of time. Since slavery in this country, that's what they've done. Right? Where you get the origination of the coon and the sambo. The house Negro. They've done that. They fucking mental warfare. That's what they've done. And black people are the only people right now, I would argue, that are dealing with a significant amount of mental warfare. Significant amount. Fuck physical warfare. You're already going through that already. But a lot of that mental warfare, a lot of that physical warfare is due to the mental warfare. In many cases, you want to talk about some of the hoods or whatnot. Reason why you have some of the hoods is due to the mental warfare, right? The mindset that has been supplanted. They've fucked the mind and the body follows. That's what they've done. But don't ever conflate the two. Don't ever, as far as, own that shit. Because that's what they want you to do. They want you to own, hey, that's who you are. No. That's how you've propagandized us to be. That's how you've conditioned us to be. But that's not who, in fact, we are. And never have been. Never have been. Same propaganda they did during slavery. trying to argue, hey, this is for the benefit of them. They enjoyed this. Look at them. They wouldn't know what to do if it wasn't without us. Okay? Then use the slave Bible, scripture, religion in some cases. They're like, hey, look, what does the scripture say? Obey your master, right? Now, who's the master here? All right, then. You do want to do well by God. They have created a catastrophe, right? They've created an abomination on this planet. Okay? That's what they've done. And we're the only group of people that they have done this to. And we're the only group of people that they haven't even studied, right? They don't even care to see as far as what impacts has slavery done. What impacts has slavery had on these group of people? What have they said? Hey, it's no longer law. What are you crying about? This happened years ago. What are you crying about? Get over it. And this goes back once again to the stereotypes they've had that have permeated through media, fucking literature, multiple mediums that they have about us, exclusive to us, no other group of people, exclusive to us. Imagine calling somebody you fucking got free labor from fucking lazy, because that's what they were calling them. You have to understand, some of them are fucking lazy. You start reading into as far as the slave work, right? And what happened, they would break tools of slaves and then blame the slave. Hey, he just doesn't want to work. It was all propaganda. I want you to understand that. Propaganda. Say the slave didn't want to work. They would sometimes have the slave get sick, right? On purpose, and then say, hey, the slave he's faking sickness. Faking sickness or whatnot. And they would do this mental fucking torture time and time and time and time again. And then they controlled the media at that time. Who are you gonna believe? Property or the fucking plantation owner? And it's and nothing has changed really. When people say, I never understood when people were talking about fucking when they were talking about, yo, nothing. Have you considered leaving America? Why the fuck would I leave something that I built? First off, y'all wouldn't allow us to leave America. Even if niggas wanted to. We already tried. Marcus Garvey. We saw how that ended for the nigga. We tried. Y'all don't want us to leave. Y'all don't want us to leave. Not that we would leave anyway. Why the fuck would I leave a house that I built? Does that make any sense? And that's the ultimate, that's what you won't allow us to leave, even if we wanted to. So please don't play that con game on me. Don't play that con game, well, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave? Did you ever ask that? Did you ever ask yourself this? Because you want to know why they don't say, well, why would I leave? I love it here. I know you do. That's exactly my fucking point. So why don't you leave us the fuck alone? And pay us what is owed. And you won't have these problems. I find it interesting they constantly keep bringing this shit up. Always the victim, the victim, victim. You've never fucking repaired anything. You've never done anything to fix this victim. You haven't done anything. There's been no amends made. None. We're the only group of people that you haven't done anything for. And then blame us for saying, hey, you haven't done anything. Make that make sense. How about you guys leave and go to fucking Europe or where the fuck you guys are from? Go back to the Caucasoid Mountains. And just let America belong to us. How about that? No? Then what the fuck are you asking me to leave for? That's the same thing. They trying to play the same con game. Now they want